Text Prison Story family, salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow. We back here with a very special episode. Guys, channel that I've been watching, named OG Hollywood right here, man. One of the realest content that you can imagine. I want y'all to go subscribe to him as soon as you see this. Follow the guy and check him out, man, because this gonna be some raw action right here. Miss Hollywood, introduce yourself to them. Tell them how they can find you, your social media, anything.
What's good? What's good? What's good, man? AKA OG Hollywood, man, CEO of the Ferguson Chronicle, man, the one and only where you can only get it live at the Ferguson Chronicle, where we do nothing is scripted. Everything is always kept 110. You can find me on IG and you can find me on YouTube. All you have to do is look up Ferguson Chronicle and OG Hollywood Speaks, man.
That's facts. Y'all type it in, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's got some serious content, man. We just sat in and chopped it up. He just got through coming down to Galveston. Y'all's crazy. So y'all expect probably we'll do something together sitting next to each other's phone. Hollywood, this gonna be a good one here, and our viewers gonna like it, man, because as you know, Ferguson unit gets a lot of attention online. I think my brother Saucy D actually did the first videos on Ferguson unit, I believe. And OG Percy came out, Dewberry. We got a lot of people that talk about it. But I think you was the first man there. Nobody beat you there, I believe. What year did you arrive at Ferguson unit first?
Oh, I came on the Ferguson unit 1990, man. I was on the Ferguson unit, really was 89, 90 era. And I call that the kill or be killed days, man, because that's exactly what it was.
I know it was. We'll get into that too, because see, Ferguson unit, if y'all don't know, and we got a lot of people that watch in other states, it literally has the reputation for probably being the hardest prison in Texas. There's a bunch of them that could be probably take that, but it's literally stayed like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always been known like that. Hollywood, when you was in the county, city jail, wherever it's out in the streets when you was young, what did you hear about Ferguson unit before you ever even went to prison? Did you ever hear about it out in the streets?
Oh, yeah, I heard about the Ferguson unit before I even touched the Ferguson unit. You know what I'm saying? Because it had a name that speak for itself. It's kind of like, in other words, it prepared you before you even went. You feel what I'm saying? So, during my time in the street, man, even though I moved wisely, quietly, however, it still didn't help me avoid the prison system. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like I said, man, you can't help but to hear about the Ferguson unit, man, because there was many men went before me and came back and told the stories that they told. So it's kind of like, not that I wanted to go there. It's kind of like, when people came around, they spoke the city to an existence, and I landed up on the Ferguson unit.
Facts. At one time, for those that don't know, I think there was 11 or 13 prisons in Texas. That's it. And Ferguson unit was one of them. It was Ferguson, Ellis, Ramsey, a couple other ones, and that was it. So we're looking at an old prison right here. You know what I'm saying? Probably old, probably dirty, shit don't work, stuff like that. So for the people that know, when you started your time, or the people that don't know, how much time was you looking at when you first went down?
Oh, when I first went down, man, actually I know they gave me a life sentence. So it was 15 before I had to see anybody before I came up for parole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had to do 15 years flat before I saw anybody, before I even thought about coming home.
How old was you in 1990?
1990, I probably was 20. I was 20 years old.
Youngster. So
yeah.
you're 20 years old and they slap you with a life sentence, bare minimum 15 years.
Yeah.
What's going through Hollywood's head right there? Is Hollywood thinking, man, I'm fixing to get out in 15. Ain't no way I'm doing this in life? Or did you have it in your mind, I'm doing whatever? How was it?
Well, man, the thing about that, man, I can't say that I wasn't afraid of the time I was given, right? Because I'm human just like anybody else, man. My first impression was like, damn, I done fucked up. To keep it 100 with you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I'm going through the whole court process, man, and the man, they offered me 35, but I turned the 35 down because I'm listening to everybody in jail as far as, the jailhouse lawyers like everybody else say. So I'm listening to them, and I'm young, so I take it to trial. And they give me a life sentence, man. And as far as me doing the life sentence, I didn't know how I was gonna do it, man. All I knew, the man said that before you eligible for parole, you gonna have to do 15 years.
No
So
matter what.
no matter what.
All right. So literally, that's human nature, man. Anybody's knees gonna shake a little bit when they hear a life sentence, I believe. If not, something's probably bad wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact.
Yeah.
So when you get this number, you're thinking 15 bare minimum, 20 years old, knowing you're coming out at least 35. That's a heavy weight, man. That's a big burden on a young man right there. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like this is gonna be a crazy question, but do you feel like you hit a moment of temporary insanity when they gave you that elbow, or do you feel like you stayed cool, calm, and collected the whole way? Because I've seen guys go both ways, go
Oh
crazy
no.
as hell, or different guys hold it.
My thing with this, man, when they gave me a life sentence, right? And as we say old school, I didn't know if I was going or coming, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right,
Because we saying that I'll be 35 when I get out, right? That wasn't the case. We didn't count the set offs,
right.
and the major cases and everything else that came with that, right? So yeah, I found, from time to time, man, my mental state was, it was shaking because I'm young, man. I'm coming straight from the streets, and they sending me to the country, saying I'm gonna have to do 15 flat. You know, I ain't know nothing about prison, man. I ain't know nothing about no prison, especially where they sent me to.
Did you go to? Was you on like TYC or anything like that? Or is this your first real deal? At
None of
20.
that. I never been to TYC. I only been to juvenile. You know what I'm saying? I only been to juvenile, and I was let out of the juvenile.
All right.
So when I was convicted, it was off for 35 years for 13 aggravated robberies. Turned that down. From the 35 years, they went straight to the life sentence. It was over with at 20 years old.
So let me ask you this, then we're gonna get to it. When you come back that day with that life sentence back to the county jail, how was people treating you, man? Were they like, I'm gonna leave this man alone? He just got an elbow. Was it like a standoffish, or was people saying, man, I'm sorry, probably wouldn't pay to hear this? So how were they treating you that night when you came back?
The thing about it, man, I always have been, uh, even though I could defend myself, from right here, but I've never been a bully, right? And I always understood one thing, that in which what I did has nothing to do with the next man. So I didn't go around looking to take something out on somebody else because they didn't have nothing to do with that, right?
Right,
But on the back end, that's what they were saying. Damn, bro, you got a life sentence, man, or whatever, man. Sorry to hear that, or whatever. That's what was coming from everybody else's mouth, right? It wasn't me being aggressive towards anybody else. No, it wasn't like that. I
right,
didn't do
right.
that.
I just wondered if they was acting like, man, we better give him his time and his space and stay away from him.
Oh
Or
yeah, they done that. That
yeah,
that I mean that's that's human nature. You know, when a man get killed from a mental standpoint, right? Everybody backs up.
right,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because from a physical presence, I was still alive, but at the same time, they knew I was gone from right here. You
right.
know, because of where I was going, how long I was going to be gone. So yeah, they took a step back, and they didn't approach me the same way they did before I went to court. If that's what you
That's what I'm asking. That's what I
no,
believe. Yeah,
no,
I
no,
know they
no. They
didn't.
got no. They didn't get out of the way, but they did sidestep it, huh?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why I even asked, because I knew you was gonna say that. That's pretty much respect and common knowledge. Okay. So you come from the county where they taking a step back because you got this elbow and it's serious and they know it. So here you go on fixing the catch chain to a place where a whole bunch of people have them and they all got big numbers and stuff like that. And you just one of another one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? So that probably was a shock when you first caught that chain and you packed up your stuff or threw everything away. You went to intake, I guess maybe Dawson up there. I don't know where y'all. What intake did you go to back then? Bird unit, straight to Bird.
No, when I went, you went to Go Re.
Go read. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
you went to Go Re because that was like a classification unit. You know what I'm
right, right.
saying?
Yeah, up y'all way you go to Go read down here. You might go to Garza or Holiday. Same
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. It wasn't back then. It wasn't too many transfer facilities. Everybody went to the same spot to tell you where you're going.
Right.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
how long did you spend over there? 9 times out of 10 with a life sentence, you're not gonna stay in transfer very long.
No. And as a matter of fact, you got to remember when I went, transfer facilities, I don't even think they was established because when I went over there, we was going to see classification, but at the same time, we went to child with population. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You just got classified on that unit, but you went to child. You was in population the same way
Right.
until you caught the chain and went to where you going. So roughly, I have to say, man, I think I was there for about a week, 2 weeks at the most.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So listen, I don't know how they did it there, but when we was on bird unit, they literally when it came time to ship everybody out to your unit, the lawman literally had a list and he'd yell out your name and then yell your unit. You know what I mean? Like when I was there, a whole bunch of people was going friendly ass places, and there was two of us. They said Beto one. About two of us, they said Ferguson. About two of us, they said Clemens. And everybody else was like, shh, glad that wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? Literally,
Yeah,
they were going to other spots, but when they yell out Hollywood Ferguson, what was your first thought in your mind? Like, oh shit,
exactly. God damn, man. I wanted to be the one no one say, why you ain't send me here, right? You know
right,
what I'm saying? Yeah, because I knew one thing, man, that once you got off at that back gate of Ferguson unit, right? That's when the challenge began. You know what I'm saying? It began from right here, from the mental aspect, even before you got through the gate. Because when you pull it up, especially if you pull it up around lunchtime, you're gonna see so many people on the back dock, and you're gonna see fields for miles and miles and miles away, man. So, I mean, like I said, 20 years old, never been in this environment. You can imagine uh how I was feeling. I was feeling just like the next man. Like damn, here it is right here. And that's how I was feeling, man.
when you got to Ferguson, how many people showed up with you that day? Was a bus full or just a couple of y'all?
No, it was probably. I want to say it was probably about because back then it seemed like that's the only place they sent you. Like just like you said, it wasn't nothing but a few units you could
Right,
go
right.
to. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say it's probably about 10 or 11 people, probably more than that. But when I got off the bus, all I could see was me because I'm like, damn, here it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm
You
just
know,
wondering if anybody else did anything crazy, like right off the bus, like didn't want to get off that bus or was
hold up, man.
fine or something. You seen some weird shit?
Yes, speaking of that, uh, and you right, motherfucker didn't want to get off the bus. Yeah, you had they was refusing to get off the bus at the Ferguson unit, man. You had people holding on to the rails of the bus where they had to bring other COs out to unpin them from the seats to take them in the building, man. That's that just shows you from a mental standpoint how serious this unit was to people that was going over there, man. People was submitting even before they get off the bus, man. They was already giving up. They was beat before they got there, man.
Yeah, that's rough to hear right there too. I knew, there's very few people that talk about that, but I knew also you were going to say that, so I appreciate you saying it because I want everybody to understand how serious of a situation that we talking about and we about to get in right now. Like this is pretty much about the most serious situation you get in life. Other than it's like going into the front line in a war without your rifle. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Going to
Yeah.
a war without a weapon. And you're walking in literally butt naked, no knife, no nothing, don't know how to use one, what to do. You know what I'm saying? You literally walking in having to figure things out. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you keeping it real and saying that, man.
Yeah. And matter of fact, speaking of butt naked, that's how you win in the unit. Because when you come through the back gate, everything comes off.
Uh-huh.
Everything comes off and you got dudes behind you, dudes in the front of you, but you never know who's watching you. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Who gonna try you when you get in the building?
Right.
Because like I said, when I went down there, you had every kind of shark it was in the water, man. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't
And
no safe prisons back then.
ain't no dropping no I-60 or telling nobody come out there to save you. None of that. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much like they say on Barretto, man. You do the crime, you're gonna do the time, man.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And over here, it was real time, man. It was real time.
All right. So listen, let's go. I'm getting sidetracked a lot. I apologize. But as you come in, you literally you see classification first when you come in. You got to talk to
Yeah,
the officer rank and everything, gang officer and all this type of stuff.
yeah,
You
yeah. I
see
see.
all that.
Yeah, you know the procedure. I went in, seen classification,
Well,
and
this my question. I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, OG, but I have no idea what does the fucking classification even say to a man that's sitting there on his first day on a life sentence. Like, are they scared of you?
I'm not gonna say they scared of me. However, uh, they're not gonna treat me like a man that has 2 years. Put it like that, because because they know for one that I don't give a fuck. It's nothing that you can do to me. You know, I got the L, so it's pretty much I'm gonna do the time how I want to do it. You
Right,
know, and at that particular time, especially when I got there, that was my mindset. I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. You
right,
know,
right. And that's see, that's something that this is gonna sound weird, but as a man with a bunch of time in that like there, you literally have an advantage moving in that prison and doing anything and everything in there because you're willing to take more chances. You ain't sweating no parole right now. You know what I mean? You ain't worried about nothing, got nothing to lose. And another man over here with a 2, 3, 4, 5, he's trying to go home. He ain't trying to turn that into what you got. You know what I'm saying? So you
yeah,
feel like literally that was unlucky advantage, probably walking in with that life a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, you hit
Like
it
you
spot
do
on.
it your way.
Yeah, you hit it spot on. You know what I'm saying? That's the advantage I had over people with small time. You know, and that allowed me to get away with a lot of shit that I got away with. You feel what I'm
Right,
saying? Because they knew one thing. Oh, that's Hollywood. He ain't going nowhere. So it
right,
don't matter. It don't matter if you write him a case. You know what I'm saying?
right. You ain't
It-
hurt nothing.
yeah, you ain't hurting that. He ain't finna see nobody. You know, he gonna turn right around and do the same thing he did today. He'll probably do it in a worse way tomorrow. And that's how they looked at me.
Right, right. Okay, so listen, as you come in, 20 years old, fresh life, never been in prison, never nothing. When you first look at that day room and realize how damn little it is, how many people in there, what's the first thoughts in your mind? Like I'm talking about standing waiting on that first in and out, probably holding your Bible or whatever you got. Like what's going through your mind right this moment?
Scared, scared as hell. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I'll admit I was. You know what I'm saying? But only scared from the inside, not so
right,
much as scared to where the next man can see I'm scared. And the reason why I'm scared because uh I'm in uncharted territory. You
uh-huh,
know, I know how to handle society because in society I carry a gun. You
uh-huh.
know, and I can protect myself with that, right? But in this small day room, like you said, where all eyes are on you, you know, it looks like, you don't even want to turn around and look at the next man, because you don't know what he about.
Right.
So yeah, I was scared, man.
I mean, that's normal. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, though, shit, I was too. And everybody I ever seen come through was, but there's a certain type of man that can, like you say, just be on the inside, not really show it, put his back straight, chest up, and say, fuck it. You know what I mean? That's exactly what you got to do coming into the
Yeah.
situation. So, like, literally, when they roll that gate and say, get your ass in, or you go to your first cell, come back out, how do they approach you on Ferguson back in 1990? Like, is it friendly? Is it rough? What's going on?
I never forget. I stayed in 3 row, 2 cell. So if anybody ever been on Ferguson, that's a long way up
Mhm.
the stairs. But it's quick when you stay in 2 cell because you go up, drop it off, and you got to go back to the day room. Cause now you got everybody standing at the bars, they looking up. You know what I'm saying? And back then, I'm probably 135. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm probably 135.
Well, hold on. Listen. So they ain't hiding shit or nothing. They staring. They looking. They
Yeah,
watching.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they watching. Because like I said, you got sharks in the water, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got dudes, here it is, I have to do my time. They done already did their time. You see what I'm saying? I'm
Uh,
talking about that 20, that 25, that 30. You see what I'm saying? So okay, so yeah, we looking, you know, we looking, and you know what we looking at. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no secret. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So, like I said, a long way up, but a quick way back down to the day room. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
So that's what it was.
So like literally, you. I mean, any normal person gonna feel like some sharks is watching them and all kind of stuff. But anybody with a brain and you're obviously highly intelligent, knowing now it's showtime. This is make or break Hollywood. I'm here for life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out listen. Everybody always hears that shit about walk up to the biggest man and punch him in the day room and all this type of shit. You know what I mean? Like when you're walking back down for real, just lace us up on what happens. Like, do you take that walk fast or do you come down slow? And
No, I ain't. I'm gonna keep it 110. I ain't no Harry to get back down here.
that's what I'm saying for
You know what I'm
real.
saying? I ain't no Harry to get back down here because I don't know what's next. You feel what I'm saying? All I knew is when I went in the day room is segregated. You know what I'm saying? The day room is segregated. Everybody that's there is doing their thing. And I don't have a thing to do because I don't know what the fuck to do. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? I don't know what to do. So I'm not in no hurry to get back to the day room. You feel what I'm saying? So
This so listen, that's what I want to explain to people too, man. Most of them prisons in there, like you say, segregated, but a lot of men gonna already have their seat established where they sit, their shit right there, and you literally will walk in there and don't even know where to sit down, right?
exactly. So I mean, that was me. I don't know where to sit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to sit on the wrong in the wrong seats. See what
Right,
I'm saying?
right, right.
So that was me, man.
So how do you figure all this out? Did somebody come up to you and be like, "Yo, what you doing? How much time you got?" Somebody call you out? I mean, somebody shoot you a care package? How's it go when you first get there?
Nah, it ain't no care packages. If they looking to take a care package, they ain't shooting you shit. Ain't nobody shooting you no care package. They want to know what's your name, where you from, and what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, but I made the mistake, man, of sitting on the front bench, and I'll never forget, man. It was a dude named Jones out of H Town. You know what I'm saying? uh he came up to say, bro, you can't sit up here. But me being lame, I don't know why I can't sit up here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna question it. He said, cause only regulars sit up here. I don't know what a regular is.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right,
I'm asking, man, what is a regular? Or is somebody that's been here a long time or whatever, whatever. So that was the spiel they gave to me, right? But at the same time, I didn't move fast enough for him. You know what I'm saying? So he said, hey, man, when we get ready to turn out for work tomorrow, you got to get that. I'm like, get what? You know what I'm saying?
man.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get that. I don't know what to get. So one of my partners, they said, man, where you from? I said, I'm out of West Dallas. They said, man, look, cut and dry, man. You're going to have to squab with him tomorrow, man, because you sat in his seat on the front bench because you're a regular and you ain't, right? So when they said that word right there, squabble, oh, I'm cool with that. Cause that's what I do anywhere where I'm from.
As long as you know what time it is, let's go, right? But not knowing it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. As long as they didn't say where it's gonna be some knife play, see now I would have to think about it then. You know what I'm saying? Cause I didn't know nothing about no knife. But when they
Right,
said
right.
I had to squabble with him, oh, I'm good with that.
So let me ask you something. When you sat in his front row, and I hate to skip ahead, but later on, well, we ain't even gonna get into that because I know later on you became a regular, you know what I'm saying, and all that type of shit. But how long did it literally take you before you could sit on that bench right there?
That same very bench
Yeah.
after I smashed his ass.
I know you did. That's what, hey, respect. I was getting ready to say probably the next day, right?
Yeah, after I smashed him. You know what I'm
Yeah. See?
saying? After I smashed him, and you gotta remember, like I said, I was 135.
Uh-huh.
I was 135, but he wasn't though. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of their regulars. Cause like I said, you gotta remember, man, back then you had H time and you had D time. You see what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? Later on in the game, that's when everybody started collaborating with each other. But back then, it wasn't none of that shit, bro.
Everything was separated. Yeah, that's another thing. I really had forgot about that. Literally, there was a major beef going on back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was a major beef going back on because for one, everybody thought their city was better than the other city. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a big thing back then, especially when I smashed him and he was out of Houston.
Oh, I bet. Literally, did his homeboys violate him, or did they make him come back and fight you again, or would they handle that, or they just left him alone? It was over.
Nah, it was over. We had one round, and you know, I said it was one round. You know what I'm saying? But it still was me coming out on top, and it just didn't make him look good because he had been there a lot longer than me. But once again, I was a lot younger than he was, and I could fight.
Right,
So
right.
that's where the advantage came in at.
Right. Well, you got that out the way. So literally, here was my question about the bench and everything like that. Knowing usually on them first benches, anybody with any type of respect can sit on them. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna really be assigned to somebody. At least that's how it was at Vito. Like if you're a real man, you can sit over there on that bench. You know what I mean? And literally, him telling you that, was that just your test? Like homeboy, we finna figure out who you are. You think somebody sent him to do that and told him to do it, or he just did that on his own?
I ain't gonna say that, but I will say this: that back then, being a light skinned individual, right, and underweight, that right there will get people coming at you.
Make them
Cause
test.
like I say, most light skinned dudes back then they considered as weak.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And ain't
So
no
that
room for
right
that.
there, yeah. So that right there would get you an invitation to whatever somebody else wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't think nobody sent him at him. He just thought that, well, this is a light skinned motherfucker. He underweight, so I got him.
Right.
And if,
All right. Here goes a question that I want to anybody that came off the bus with you that day, how many of y'all lasted and stayed over there as real stand up fellas, and how many didn't? You think? Do you know?
to be honest with you, man, like I said in the beginning, I really don't know. I really don't know because at that particular time, bro, it was me against.
Yeah, I understand. I
You see
understand.
what I'm saying? So I couldn't watch him because I didn't know nothing. I'm lame. I didn't know nothing about nobody ride with nobody looking out for nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All I knew is that this is where I'm at. This is what's going on. So I gotta worry about me, man.
Here's something that I noticed in all prisons and all institutions, that unless you got a free world homie over there, 9 times out of 10, they're bad about letting a man figure it out for himself. Everything. Then nobody's gonna hold your hand. Nobody gonna tell you what they're yelling out mean. Nothing. You gotta either ask and look stupid, or you just gotta wait and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's always gonna be like that. And there's some people that just can't figure it out fast enough, and they fail. You know what I mean?
But see, that's why I say, you know, early on in the conversation you asked me, man. That's why I told you that unit when I went, man, ain't nobody saving nobody. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you from, that's where you from. But the only somebody gonna save you is you. You know what I'm saying? When you show up for you, and then somebody else might show up for you if it's too many people. But when you first get there, you got to show up for you. Ain't nobody saving you, man.
Or you got to make your name, man. So when you first pull up, what is your first job? Field squad, like everybody else?
Most deaf, fields,
Field
two
squad.
halves.
You know, very few states OG got field squads, so they like hearing about that. Like, what's your first day when you turn out and realize you working for these country ass motherfucking rednecks? Probably you got to call them boss man and this crazy stuff. What was going through your head right there?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, like I said, man, you know, in my experience in those fields, man, it was unbearable. You know what I'm saying? And I know I hate to keep bringing this up, man, but a 20-year-old, 100 and some pounds soaking wet,
You know, it's hard.
and you got to stay in these turn rows and hit this ground, and don't even know how to hold a agate whether you got gloves on or not. You still gonna get the same results. So it was hard, man. I'm gonna tell you straight out, it was hard.
Did it ever get easier, or did it stay hard? It's mentally messed up in them fields too. You know what I'm saying? But was there ever a time? I don't know how long you stayed in the field, but I know some people stay out there so long that shit becomes easy to them. Did you ever make it like that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Uh, this is later on down the line. To answer that question, later on down the line, it did get easy. And when it got easy, I didn't want no other job.
That's what I've heard before. My friends, shout out to my bro Salsa D, man. He said the same shit that a lot of guys on Ferguson when he was there preferred the field because it kept them in good shape. You know what I'm saying? They stayed on top of the game and they had mastered it, and they just go out there and do their thing, come back. So
I had an old saying I used to say when I was in the fields, man. They say, "You want a job?" I used to say, "I already got a job. I can't get hired on. I can't get fired on."
No shit, right, y'all. I'm already here. Can't, like you said. Well, see, that's another thing where you were smart right there because, like you said, with that elbow, what can they do to you now? What they gonna do? Put you in the fields? I'm already in the fields. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that. So look, as you get there, 20, when Hollywood turns 21, turns 22. How are you feeling there? Are you like, damn, man, this is real now? Like, as it's sitting in that this shit's gonna take a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? Or are you getting frustrated, or are you just getting into your groove as you start getting to be you?
Well, I mean, it was. I was frustrated more times than not. You see what I'm saying? To where I got frustrated to the point to where now it became that I was taking the frustration out on the inmates in there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I was taking the frustration out on inmates, man, to where I started to realize, man, that I'm a better fighter than a lot of these dudes. You see what I'm saying? So that was my relief of me doing time and having to do all that time, right? You know what I'm saying? I would literally find somebody to fuck with.
So you just ain't got nothing else better to do, huh?
Ain't nothing else better to do but to fight and get a bunch of goddamn tattoos. That was it.
Yeah. All right. So listen, as you're at that time right now, you're frustrated. You've been there a couple years already. Like you say, you realizing, hey, man, I got hands just like everybody else does, stuff like that. When you see new men come into that day room, what are you thinking now? Are you staring at them through the bars, looking up, seeing who this is? Are you kind of just to the back? How's Hollywood now?
Like I said, man, I've never been a bully, man, and I've never let myself go too far to where uh I would look at a man the same way the other guys would look at a dude, right? I never got that far with me, right? And yeah, I would look due to the fact because my money wasn't always right either. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm no different than the next person when it came down to making somebody ride.
Right.
If that's what you're asking me, you know what I'm
Basically,
saying?
that's what I was asking in a nice way. Was Hollywood now I realize shit. I'm here for a long time. I need some
Yeah,
help too.
yeah,
Somebody gonna come over here and feed me.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I've had my share of that. You know what I'm saying? I had my share of that. And you wasn't no regular unless you had your share of that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's what made you stand out above a whole lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? How many people you got going to store for you?
Man, what's the most persons you ever seen somebody going to the store for somebody?
I can't put no number on it, man, because you
3,
know
4, 5, 10, 20. Shit.
I say with me, you know what I'm saying? I say with me, the most people that ever went to the store for me was 8. You know
8.
what I'm saying? I had eight people going to the store of and you know how most people say, well, it was all white boys. I'd be lying to tell you that because it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody in prison has his own weakness, regardless whether you white, black, it doesn't matter. You know, You had just as many blacks in prison that was weak as the next person. See what I'm
Right.
saying?
Facts, of
So
course, human beings.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
gonna keep
I
it
got a
100.
question for you, Hollywood, and I hate to backtrack, but this is something that people need to know about because what was it like for the Woods when they showed up back there with you? How was they handled? Well, I know it's probably a little rougher. You know what I'm saying? Was they getting treated bad, like right off the jump? I used to hear about them having to fade 3 people and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. What was happening
But
to
see,
them?
I'm gonna tell you, like this here, man. And anybody, and this was a personal friend of mine, right? Personal friend of mine, and was good, straight out of Fourth Ward. This white boy named Rocky, a monster. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And that's one white boy I know that did nobody want to challenge straight up. Whether you was black, white, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But uh for the most part, man, your white boys had it hard, man.
I know
They
they
had it
did.
hard. You know, they
So
had it hard. And to be honest with you, man, the white boys had it hard from the white boys. You know, the white boys had it hard from their own color.
it was like that when I was down. Like literally, I'm gonna be honest with you. The white people are way harder on the other white people. They'll stomp them out and run them out. They're so limited in numbers that they feel like if they show any type of weakness, you gotta go instantly.
Exactly.
And the brothers and the Hispanics, they'll give their people a chance a lot of time, maybe violate them or do just talk bad to them or something. They're not even giving them 2 chances ever. Never that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah,
that's what I wanted to know. But in your time, so there were some that was handling it like literally if they handle their business when they first get there, are they fine the rest of their time when you was there, or are they having to have problems the whole way through?
I ain't gonna say they gotta have problems the whole way through, but I will say this, man, that they had to prove themselves more times than other people did. Because you know, sometimes you might get out there and you squabble and you come up with a win, right? But other dudes gonna look at you, oh shit, you just got a lucky punch. You see
Right,
what I'm saying? So that same person that said that, he might not try it, but somebody else gonna try it. You know what I'm saying?
right. You know
So
what I seen Hollywood that I think a lot of black folks probably don't even realize or pay attention to, but I would see white dude. You know, I didn't really talk to too many white dudes in prison, honestly, but I would talk to some sometimes, and there were men who literally were meeting their first black people ever in life in
oh
prison.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They're from East Texas or South Texas. They've never even met a black man in real life. So it's kind of like intimidating to them to see these other races and they hear about it. That's all I wanted to know because this show is for everybody of all colors, and we try to let them know that ain't the place they want to be. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
if you're a badass white dude, you better be one. And if you're a weak ass black dude, you're gonna be in trouble. It don't matter what's going
No,
on
it
there.
don't matter. It don't matter, man. I swear it don't matter. That's the reason why I said what I said a few minutes ago, man. That uh, it was of no certain race that a person will make you ride. If you
Right,
weak, you gonna ride.
right. You know, I seen Hispanic gang members forcing the solo guys to ride for sure. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like they're not
yeah,
here protecting everybody. No, it's about their members and their people only. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah.
same thing with the white dudes and all this. So listen, as you're hitting that system back then, was there even such thing as Bloods and Crips in the Texas system in 1990? I know they start hitting about 90. What? I don't know.
It was very minimum. Put it like that. It was very minimum, and uh, real outweighed it anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The real would outweigh any gang back then, you know. And uh, like I said, man, you know, in dudes that was in prison back when I was in prison, I know they feel the same way I do. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't too many gangs that was in prison. Your gang was your color.
Mm-hmm. Or your city, right?
Yeah, your gang in your city was your color. You feel what I'm saying? And if you
Absolutely.
are a Crip or you are a blood. When it get ready to go down, you black.
Right. Yeah, yeah. You know, that's how it was, man. Listen, when I got to the feds, I couldn't believe it, OG, because they literally, when you walk in, they do not ask you what gang you're in. They literally say, "Where are you from?" Oh, they don't care about that gang shit. It was unbelievable. I never seen that because as I came up in the early 2000s and shit in jail, it was highly gang related. That was the first question they ask you. Get to the federal system, they don't care, man. It's all about riding. So I do kind of understand that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So okay, here's some shit. As Hollywood gets in here, how long? Okay, how long did you stay on your first wing? That's my first question. Like where they first day room, did you stay there for a while?
Oh yeah, I stayed on if I can remember, man, I was on I think I was on G block. Smallest I was on a block that looked like you was inside of a closet, huh?
Mm-hmm. I heard the
Just
whole
me.
prison looks like that, basically.
Yeah, until you got on the other end. See, they got had bigger day rooms and bigger cells on the other end. However, I didn't never get that privilege to go down there, man. But I was on G block, right? And for 5 or 6 years, I was on that block. I didn't move nowhere because of I didn't want no job. Every time they gave me a job, I turned it down.
Right. All
You
right.
know,
So this is my question. 5 or 6 years. How many of those men in that day room were there the entire 5 or 6 years with you? Was it most all of them? Like literally the same people when you show up was there when
yeah.
you left?
It was just, when I left and finally accepted a job, those guys, some of them that came with me, and I can't remember the faces and I can't remember names, right? But I knew they was there on that block.
Right.
I knew they was on that block. However, I excelled faster than they did as far as from a penitentiary standpoint, from being who I was when I got there to who I was when I was there. You know, they
Right.
were still, neutral, while I became a regular real quick.
Right. So listen, yeah, well, you had no choice with that L either. You got listen, man, you either gonna become that regular or just be left out and everything, don't get nothing, can't buy a cigarette hardly. That's who wants
Yeah,
to live like that. You gotta go get your respect. And that's what people don't understand. Just sitting back, being that quiet little mouse in the corner, you're gonna have some hard time. Whether they beating up on you or taking your shit or not, you literally are just out the mix, not even enjoying yourself ever. And fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand
yeah.
how you get. So look, as you get in here some more, 5 or 6 years, it's gonna be my last question on that block. How well did you know the men as far as even the Hispanics, the whites, the black? Did you literally know every man in there and talk to them, or were there some people that you never even talked to in 5 or 6 years?
I put it like this, man. I talked to them. I talked to them on a regular due to the fact of uh the surroundings, right?
So close together.
Yeah. So you pretty much don't have no choice, but you don't have to talk, but I mean, who wants to not talk to people that's in the day room? That's what the day room is for, right? But I had some that I talked to more than others, and if I didn't talk to you, that means we wasn't on the same level.
Right, right,
You know what
right.
I'm
Okay,
saying? It wasn't
right.
no disrespect. We just wasn't on the same level. And as far as uh Hispanics and whites, right? Uh I probably would talk to blacks and whites before I would talk to an Hispanic.
And then that crazy, I sat with the blacks and would talk to a Hispanic, probably never talk to a white because I didn't want to, I knew for a fact they didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? Literally in this day room where we was, there was me, a white Crip, and one white GD. We was the only white people that could even see the TV. They literally had a bench facing a brick wall in the day room. So they didn't like the fact that we could sit on that front bench or we could do that. So I just stayed away from them. I felt like it was going to be nothing positive. You was the exact opposite way. That's crazy. I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah, but another reason I didn't talk to Hispanics was this reason right here. Because I know you'll talk to me today and you'll kill me tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. That's how I felt with the white guys. Shit. I know they was itching to find some kind of reason probably to do something to me, and I wasn't never gonna give it to them. How
Yeah,
about that? We just don't even need to talk. You sit
yeah,
over there, I sit over here. We don't live in the same cell, so fuck it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it
yeah.
was. So listen, as you get in there now, you 5 years in, you know what's going on. You got your reputation on. Are you feeling like, man, I'm finna take this job and do my time easier? I'm finna take this job and make me some money. Like, what kind of job was it? What you had going? That you said for 5 years you refused one and then took
Yeah.
it. So something changed. What happened?
For one, I got tired of going out there in that hot ass sun.
That's all. I don't blame you on that one.
so
It's Texas, man.
so and then I was offered I started being the SSI, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Money job.
yeah, as I became from uh as I graduated from an inmate to what they call a convict. In other words, I learned the politics of prison.
Well, how long did that take? That's what I want to know. At that 5 year mark, was you convicted already?
It took about no, I was in the beginning. It took me about 10 years.
That's what I
About
want
eight,
to know.
I want to say probably about 8 or 9 years, probably 10 years to master it, to become a technician at what I do.
Right.
Put it like that.
Calculated every move at that time.
Yeah, yeah,
So when you get to that level, do you realize it? Like, do you realize, hey man, I got this shit on lock right now? Like how does that even feel? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was the type on small numbers trying to stay out the damn way. So that's why I gotta ask you and see how you felt about it. Like, did you literally know I'm coming into my prime right now? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I knew it. I knew when I had in other words, I knew when I had achieved penitentiary greatness.
Right. That's what
I,
I'm asking. Yeah.
I knew when I had achieved penitentiary greatness because no longer am I uh asking people to let me buy, because I don't smoke, and I did smoke weed, but I had knew when I didn't have to no longer ask people, did they have any weed for sale or any other kind of drug for sale, and I was doing selling. I
Yeah.
knew I achieved greatness.
Facts.
You know,
You in the position that you wanted to be when you first got there. Now it's
now,
you.
I'm not gonna say, because I didn't know, but I didn't gotta remember, I didn't know the position existed.
Okay, I understand that too. Yeah, so that literally that's comes down to what we talk about having to figure everything out for yourself. And listen to
Yeah,
what OG Hollywood is telling y'all as y'all watch this. Highly intelligent man still took him 10 years before he feel like he mastered this shit. You know what I'm saying? A real decade, 30 years old. Now he's starting to be the man. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. So when you was on Ferguson unit, and we're gonna get off that, we go to the next part real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to get a good taste of you, man. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to this man's channel. Hit him up, man, because he's got some of the most fire interviews with some of the real OGs too, just like himself. Y'all really missing if y'all not subscribed to this man's channel. But when you were on Ferguson, can you tell me one or two stories about people that just fit? You ain't got to say their name or anything, but just terrible failures. Like, why is this guy even here, man? Like, I don't know, like maybe right off the bat, just giving up sacks, or I don't know what's some of the crazy shit you've seen guys just come in and do, like literally
uh,
ride from the first moment.
I tell you this, man. I had a cat, man, that was was street savvy, right? I give him all the credit in the world for being savvy in the streets, right? Was out of Houston, Texas, but didn't know shit about prison, but he thought he did, right? And he still was a mama's boy. He still was a mama's boy, but he had a lot of time, right? And but he was a lame though. He was a lame because he wanted to be around the regulars so much, bro, that he used to go to visit, come back, and when he come back, he would have the money, but he don't know how to score.
Mm,
Just take this. He come from the streets scoring, but in prison he don't even know how to score.
Cause it ain't the same. You can't just walk up to somebody even if they're
Ex-
doing something.
exactly. So he would give his money to people that he thought was in position, and he would never get it back.
Damn.
He would never get it back.
And
And when
once
he
he
do,
starts, he got to keep going, huh?
exactly. So once that was, and I used to sit back, man, and I used to watch him all the time. Straight out of Houston, Texas, out of Fifth Ward, where they supposed to be regulars at, right? But like I said, he would score in the streets, but he didn't know how to score in prison.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's so we ain't gonna give too much game away and no game away. But for y'all that don't know, you can be locked in with a man like Hollywood. You can literally be behind him in the chow line. He's the SSI passing by your cell. He can have everything. He can be the man. He's gonna be the plug, and you have no right to even approach him and ask him about that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he gonna treat you any type of way he wants to. If somebody come up when you was hustling, what would you even tell somebody that you couldn't trust or you didn't know but they knew what was happening? Would you tell them, nah, I ain't got shit, homie, or you asking the wrong
exactly.
man, or would you serve
Yeah.
them?
My thing with this, man, because I knew one thing, man, that uh like I said, you never judge a book by its color. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? Because uh just because you look like a lame, it don't mean you're lame. Because when you're in that position, you fucking with people that has 1,000 faces. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And they can put the face on at any time, you know. And I always like to say this, man. I used to tell dudes, man, it ain't no knock on you, but it'll be a knock on me if I serve you and you knock me.
right. Be your fault.
Exactly. So that alone always made myself not accessible to a lot of people, and
Right,
I think that's why I had longevity in that game, man, because I didn't make myself accessible to inmates or laws. I didn't even score from a lot of laws, and I know they was bringing the work in.
right. Same thing with the police. Even if you know what's happening, you ain't got that right to go up there and tell them. You know what I'm saying? You literally
Yeah,
just gotta work your way in some type of way, and it can be frustrating. Like literally, that happened to me when I first got to the feds. That I'm having to give my little money to my neighbor and let him go get it and smoke with him every fucking time, and he know what's going on.
yeah,
Another cat from Chicago literally came in my cell and said, "Yo, Tim, man, I'm just gonna take you down there and let you meet the dude, man. You ain't gotta do this." And that was the realest shit I had ever seen. I ain't never met nobody else that done that. Like he took me, met me, say, "Hey, they middleman and the shit out this dude. Just fuck with him." And he was like, "Cool, no problem." And I was on after that. You know what I mean? But had he not done that, there's no telling how long I would have had to go through somebody else to get to him. You know, that's just how politics works. So when when you start getting on your grind and everything, that's when you got to go to a new prison. Like you coming into your prime and they tell you that they shipping you. Now, what are you thinking now? Like, what the fuck? What's going through your mind? Were you
oh
ready to
man.
go? I mean, was it like fuck Ferguson or was it like, man, this is my home right now?
Well, I mean, sometimes, man, uh, the game gonna present you things that you really don't want, right? And I said that to say this, man. When you're in that system and they say it's time for you to go, it ain't no saying I don't want to go or none of that. You have to do as you. That's when you become an inmate again because you can't refuse it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's when you realize you ain't really calling no shots because
When
you
you
go
got
where they send you.
when you was getting ready to get shipped, how much warning did you have? Like literally that day, pack your shit, you're leaving, or did they give you some
No,
warning?
cause no, the lieutenant came and got me. The
Okay.
lieutenant came and got me and told me, uh, told me to come to his office. After he showed me a bunch of I-60s wrote on me.
Oh,
Showed me a bunch, showed me a bunch of I-60s to say, man, uh, this is what they doing to you, you know. And no names need to be called. Some I knew, some I didn't know, but
he
the
literally
ones,
showed them to you.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah.
but
See,
the
that's what
one,
I was do.
but but the ones I knew is the ones that hurt me the most because they knew the real deal. You see what I'm saying? And
Uh-huh.
uh, so I took that, man, and I swallowed it and I got shipped shit. So when I got shipped, it's kind of like, hey man, I'm still not going nowhere. So you just got to take your show on the road, man.
Where'd they send you to?
I went to the Hughes unit.
To the used unit. My cousin was that's where he just started on a damn 55. The used unit. Okay, I got a question for you. Was they having G3 custody back then? When did G3 custody
Yeah,
start?
they had G3 custody back then. It was G because you got to remember I did 25. So during my 25-year tenure, a whole lot of things had changed.
That's what I'm at. So when you started, was you G3 custody or it hadn't started yet?
No. I wasn't no G3. I was an S4.
Okay, yeah. See, my cousin just said left used unit. He said I think he said there was 13 wings over there with men all G3 right now, 50 on up. You know what I mean? And
they did. I think they started that literally before I came to the house. Okay. You got to remember.
That's what I was remember.
I ain't been out number 10 years. You got to remember that.
Right. When I was down, if somebody left G3 custody and came to population, we throw them a party and be like, welcome to the world. You know, you back to normal. Like they consider normal population as the damn world and G3 as the prison. That's how institutionalized these guys was. You know what I'm saying? And they're so happy to come off that. It's crazy. So when you hit Alfred Hughes unit, not what you're about 30 years old, you've been down 10 years, you know the game on Ferguson. You coming with respect. When you hit Hughes unit right away, did you see somebody that you did time with on Ferguson? And they're like, shit, that's speaking for you.
Yeah. Man, to be honest with you, I seen a few inmates that I did time with, right? But also I seen a lot of laws that I started out with, right?
Oh, they were over there too by then?
And they was in position.
Oh, got ranked out.
So you have to keep it in mind. When I got shipped for inappropriate relationship. So I got shipped for inappropriate relationship. So when I hit classification, that's what the warden and the captain told me. You know, they went to questioning me about the inappropriate relationship, right?
Basically, did they tell you better leave their officers alone over there?
Exactly. But the thing about it though is I was so blessed in the game to where when I got shipped as an S3 because they didn't nail me when I was on Ferguson.
Right. Okay.
I got shipped with all my line class as an S3.
So you enter in GP over there. You didn't have to no closed custody, nothing. Walk straight into the population.
No closed custody, no nothing. Right.
All right. So here's my question, Hollywood. When you get to that day room, can you sit on that front bench on your first day now, 10 years in, and it's a new prison, or you got to be a regular all over again?
No, I'm going straight to where the hell I want to go to now.
That's what I know. Yeah.
Because you got to remember, the setup is different. You know what I'm saying? The inmates, check this out. The reverse side of that is that the inmates that was supposed to go where I went, they went to the Hughes unit. So in other words, they went where it wasn't no action. So this is what they used to, right? So I'm coming in to where it ain't no action. You know, it ain't no checking. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nothing. You just coming in OG.
Yeah. So that's how it was when I got there.
So that's good. Now here it goes. You in your prime on this chain bus to use unit. Can you just give me a quick, maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds on the difference, how you felt mentally from on that chain to Ferguson 10 years before? Like, what was in your thoughts? Like, I'm finna go take this fucker over, or I'm just gonna go do my time and they gonna leave me alone, or I'm gonna go run this bitch. What was you thinking?
Exactly. I'm finna go run it up. Because I had the blueprint. And I already done been through what I went through the first time. So I know this bus ride ain't like it is me going to Ferguson and me going where I'm going. Right now, I'm in run it up mode.
Already. So how long did you stay on use unit?
10 years.
Did 10 over there too. I'll be down. I didn't realize it. I thought you kind of got shipped fast over there. So 10 years on use unit. What would you say? Here goes another chapter of Hollywood's life. See, this is something that I'm not even trying to rub it in or nothing, but I want the viewers to understand that we're looking at a man right here that went through phases of his life in prison. Like while y'all was out here taking your first vacation, or you was out here having your first kid or third kid, or getting your first good job. I mean, getting married, doing anything. We got OG Hollywood in prison here doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like literally evolving and changing, but still growing as a man, still getting smarter, still everything. When you hit use unit during them 10, now you're coming up, you got 5 years to your first parole. What they tell you? Did you 5 years set off, 1 year set off? What happened when you seen the first people?
Well, and all together, to be honest, I got three set offs. I got three set offs. One was on Ferguson. Two was on Hughes. Right?
How long were they when they gave them to you?
But all of them, every set off I got was 3 years.
3 years. So if y'all don't know what that means he had his hopes up, his wishes. He was in parole, and they literally told him, "No, come try again in 3 years. That's it.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Once it's done, no appealing it, no nothing." So when you got that first 3 year set off, is that when did that kick you into another mode? Like literally, was you chilling until that set off? I didn't realize you got one on first. So was you like kind of? I mean, not I ain't gonna say chilling like as in weak, but was you still having hopes of going home on that first parole, and then you got that damn set off, or did you know you was probably gonna get the set off?
I knew, I already knew, because the surroundings of people that's around you, when they get a set off, it's kind of like shit rolled downhill. You're gonna get a set off too. It's very rarely anybody that make first parole in the state of Texas, period.
I agree. And then they gotta know, was there still the different regions back then, the
Yeah, it
parole
was different.
regions?
Yeah, it was
So
different regions.
you can be in a region where they're making parole a whole lot, or you can be in a region where they don't make no parole. You know what I'm saying? So like you're saying, that's facts. You start knowing what time it is for you by watching the other guys, then I guess that makes a lot of sense. So all right, I got you, man. Damn. Use unit. When you got over there, how long did it take you till you feel like you got it in power? I know you say it ain't as much action as Ferguson, but was you able to crank it up without just telling on yourself? Was you able to crank it up, get some shit going, and
Yeah.
establish a new relationship with an officer? Like, what's going on over here? Probably so.
Well, when I got over there, man, I knew the kitchen cabinet, because they gave me a job in the kitchen. I went to work in the kitchen. They had me in utility. That's what they assigned me to. And to be honest, I was standing outside the window and I heard boom, 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 boom. Somebody was beating on the window. So I looked, and the CO said, "Hey man, the captain wants you." And I went in there, and it was the captain. He was the captain now that I knew. He was like, "Damn," he said, "Hollywood?" I said, "Yeah." He looked, and I said, "Oh, his name was Morgan, right?" He said, "Where they got you working at?" And I told him, I said, "They got me cleaning the kitchen utility." He said, "No, you ain't no damn utility worker." I said, "Put him in ODR."
Oh shit, nice. Eating good then. No, so when you're an ODR, you literally become these police friends sometimes, right,
Yeah,
man? Yeah, they gotta be nice to you because you can spit in their food, you can do
yeah.
anything. So, oh yeah, so literally Hollywood went and got an ODR. Did you gain some weight? I know you wasn't 135 when you left that ODR.
No, no, no. I wasn't no. I mean, I did what everybody else did, man. Went there and ate good, gained weight. Worked out and got known by all the people on the unit, especially all the laws, all the wardens or whatever, right? And with that come being known by all the women.
Facts, of
So
course.
you know, it's kind of like putting the fox in the hen house. In other words,
Let me ask you this, and it's something they don't talk about. You know what? Shout out to my daughter's grandmother. She's a 30-year CO, man. Believe it or not, she started on Ferguson, bro. I probably will show her this video, and she'll probably be like, "I remember him." You know what?
yeah,
Her name was Miss B. I'll tell you her whole name later. You might remember her, man. And
yeah,
she was good. She was extra good. How about that? And she would tell you that she was never there to bother nobody. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, yeah.
literally, she would explain how many women would come to work in those 30 years and they had it on their mind that they was going to get an inmate. It wasn't
Yeah,
just the inmate saying, "I'm going to get a guard." The guards, a lot of them go to their job attracted to men like that, right or wrong.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right, man.
so it's not as hard
Uh,
to that. But then listen, when you win a guard, you told me something before. that you can't respect somebody saying he owned her, none of this and all that though. What's it like when you got you one and here comes somebody else trying to push up on her? Is it time to slide on him and go, hey, homie, that's mine right there? Or you just don't even say anything, you let that guard handle that?
No, because I knew, man, it's like this here, man. It's and I had a uh a blueprint I went by, right? The thing about it, man, as you have, I understood, man, that by after being locked up so long, a man can get emotionally attached to a woman, right? So I made that my last resort when introducing the game of bringing something in to a woman. She
Right.
was my last resort because I know you can get emotionally attached to that. You see
And
what
it's
I'm
hard to
saying?
trust them too, honest to
Yeah.
God.
And because that's just how the game was gave to me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go to indulging with a woman in money, it's the same thing like in the streets, man. And you can't afford that while you're inside that cage, man.
All right, no mistakes, man. So yeah, that's all I wanted to know. Like literally in your time, uh you ain't gotta say that name. What's one of the craziest things you ever seen a police officer walked out for that they did and got caught doing?
I gotta say, man, the craziest thing I ever seen the police walked out for, man, was shit trying to bring too many cans in.
You got caught with them.
Yeah, got caught with them. You know what I'm saying? Got caught with them, man. And I can actually say that, man, because I'm not the one to try to implement anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And my game is so long ago because I did the 25 and been out 10. That's
Right, right,
35 years, man. So uh, I can speak about it because I was involved in the situation, and
right,
that's why I said what I said because I made a mistake of involving a woman in my game, and a woman got emotionally attached to me, and at all costs she was gonna bring the work in. You see what I'm saying?
right,
Without surveying the unit.
right, right. So this the deal. She was trying some convict shit without being the convict. You understand?
Exactly.
I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's trying too hard sometimes. Damn. So did you get any blowback from that? Did she tell on you like these for Hollywood, or did she
No, she
say that?
didn't. It wasn't. She didn't. No, I didn't get no feedback from that because I always make it my business, man. Whatever I do, man, I always make sure that whoever I was involved with, man, that they was mentally prepped, man. And they understood, man, that if if I get popped, that's on me. But on the back end, if you get popped, that's on you
Right,
because
right.
because we both know, man, the job dangerous when you take it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a dangerous assignment. You ain't lying about that one now. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. You now are at 20 years in, like literally 20 years in on a life sentence. How further elevated is your game than when you first came into your prime at 10 years?
I'm so elevated with as far as from the country band era, right? That I can pretty much uh say a few words to you or whoever you are to tell if you're gonna bring something in or you're not.
Right,
Because
right,
that was my whole thing, you know. I didn't want no relationship. I don't want to do all the extra shit that everybody else wanted to do. All I need you to do is bring something in for me, you know. And I consider myself different from everybody else, man, because for one, you meet a lot of guys, man. You know, the care factor with them is so up here, man, to where if the police get busted, it's a big deal to them, right? But to me, is that I never did get out of the circle to where me caring about the law.
right. No, I understand. Literally, you can't, man. You're doing an elbow right now, 20 in. You got to use them and toss them if you can. And they got to understand that too, because on the same turn, a lot of them will do that to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a dirty game, man. Even if they start getting emotionally attached, like you say, try to prep them. but some people mentally weak. They break down, might get interrogated, shit like that. So you're always taking a risk at some time. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to know how much you felt like you evolved. You know what I'm saying? Because that goes back into as these people were living their lives out here, becoming uh managers at their job and shit like
Yeah.
this. Hollywood has now become a manager inside of a prison, basically. You know what I'm saying? So when you're at 20 years in, is that by the time you got 8 people hitting these sacks for you right now? I mean, like you literally, or that was that something? You know what I mean? How did that go?
Well,
Like,
20 years in, man, it's not about commissary no more. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's not about the commissary. My game been elevated to where I no longer want the commissary, because you got to remember, at 20 years in, I'm finna get ready to come back up for parole, right?
oh, so you don't even want them problems right now again.
No, I don't. But the thing about it though, I don't want no commissary. That's what I don't want.
Oh, I need cash money now. I'm getting ready to go home, huh?
Exactly.
Mhm.
So I let the beginners deal with the commissary, because you got to remember, I work in ODR, so when I'm the cook, so I eat what I want to eat.
Right, yeah, I'm tripping. You don't even need that no more. Like literally,
No,
that's not even worth it. You eating big cakes and steaks.
yeah. So pretty much, man. I done elevated so much to where, but the grounds and the basis of the game is covered, because I don't want to have too much commissary, because that's gonna draw heat. So the locker pretty much stayed empty unless I'm going to get it out the commissary, right?
Right.
So, and in my game was so advanced, man, to where I had a 2-point connection where I had somebody bringing it in, I had somebody else sending the money to my house.
Nice. So you really was stacking it up at the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, you hear a lot of stories, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Men that take care of women, they take care of families from in the joint sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They got it going so good. It's unbelievable. But literally, you better be elevated and in that position, or somebody coming to take what you got. In this time, did you have any inmates trying to knock you? Like, man, we got to get Hollywood out
oh
of here. I
yeah,
want this. Like, more
yeah.
I-60s dropped, or did they do it to your face? How did that shit go? Hayden.
Well, like I said, man, in my time, in my journey in that game, man, you had two sets of people getting at you, right? Because you had the laws and you had the inmates, right? And one particular instance, man, it was a female that all the officers wanted. You see what I'm saying?
So
But
you're gonna be problems.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the female was interacting with me,
Mm.
you know, and you know,
That could
people
be
can,
a deadly situation right there. Seriously.
yeah, that's why I said, but inmates can tell and people can tell when this certain person is attracted to this person here, because they're gonna move different. They're gonna
Yeah.
say different things. They're gonna handle you different, you know.
Mhm.
So man, to make a long story short, man, on my tail end of me going through my transformation, which was getting out, man, I took a lot of L's in a lot of places, man. You know what I'm saying? I took a lot of L's in a lot of places, man, but uh I was protected by the game so much, man, to where I never lost my class in good time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you was where you okay. So listen, that has a lot to do with being in the ODR, huh? How much slack would they show you after, say, Hollywood get into a fight and they know it, but you the ODR cook? Do they care?
I ain't gonna say they care, and I ain't gonna say they don't care. What I will say is this, is that I could get away with a lot more than a regular inmate can.
A lot more. Yeah.
You
And
see what
that's
I'm
why I
saying?
just wanted them to see, because if they never been in, I want them to see that position you had is mighty powerful. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
mean, the position was prestigious, probably the most prestigious job you can have on the unit. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it was bigger than the job like working up front. It was bigger than that job, because anytime a man has the key to your stomach, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you ain't messing with that man. That's crazy. So listen, this we're not gonna just. I'm trying to skip around because I don't never try to steal nobody's whole story. You got your own channel and everything. You know what I mean? But I wanted them to know who they dealing with right here, so they do subscribe. They do go to you. But here we go into the real shit that I like to talk about. Okay, when you get word that you're coming home, do you leave and go to some family halfway house, or what happened 10 years ago? How did Hollywood get reintroduced back to the streets, and what that feel like on that first date?
Well, I put it like this, man. It's just this. It's my thing is this, man. I'm so blessed, man, to be with the. You know, you got to pay attention because you might miss this here, and I don't want you to miss it. You know what I'm saying? The same woman I had then, when I was committing all them crimes, is the same woman I got now.
Okay, still by your side right now.
You see what I'm saying? So that was my key to freedom right there, because I didn't have to. I didn't have to work too hard to get free. All I had to do is stay in position to get free.
Hmm.
You
Like
know?
literally wait it out, and that's it. And you know it's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that was my push to push back from a lot of shit that was in there. Because I had that going through my head so much from on the back end, right? But at the same time, I still was faced with what was in front of me, and that was all them the tangibles of things that I was doing.
Right.
So
Right.
so I had to juggle a lot of stuff, man. I had to juggle a lot of stuff because I didn't know if they was gonna let me go.
Right.
You
And you
know,
never know. Listen, you can get that parole, something bad happen, a ride hit or something, and you lose it, and it wasn't even your fault. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So nothing's promised and nothing's guaranteed, no matter your position. But when you stepped out, this is why I'm asking, because when you step out now, you already say shit. Game level 5,000. I'm convict, penitentiary down. How much different did this free world seem to you when you returned to it? Like
You
this
know,
is a whole different game. I better elevate again, or I mean, how was you feeling? Or was you feeling like it's slow game out here and you can, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how you was feeling.
well, when I got out, man, it was good, but at the same time intimidating.
That's what I'm saying. So it's literally the free world is intimidating again, like the prison was at first, almost, right?
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, it was so intimidating to me, man, because after 25 years and I get out on the monitor, right? You know, I'm on a GPS monitor. So it's kind of like I like to call it the expensive pain, huh? I'm
Yeah.
still paying, I'm still paying for what I did 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And and the same nervousness I had when I went in there, bro, is the same nervousness I had when I got out.
Right. It's understandable. But you know what? Like you did good in that shit. You coming up out here like crazy, and I respect it, man. And that's why I told you that, I literally, y'all, how we even hooked up is I do pay attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch a lot of YouTube like I used to, but if something's about Texas, I'll watch, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Very rarely say something. I just left a comment and said, yo, man, I really like your shit. And we started talking, you know what I mean? Now I'm glad we did. But there's a lot of men, even on this prison genre, you'll see that hasn't figured out the free world yet. You know what I'm saying? They're still on here acting like inmates, still got this criminal mindset mentality. They can't barely form a sentence. They can't spell their titles right on their videos. Not knocking them, but they're not really ready to be in a position to be a leader out here or to tell nobody anything. You know what I'm saying? And I got
Yeah,
this whole entire vibe off you. Like, man, Hollywood, yeah, he done 25 years, but he's well acclimated out here. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a whole man out here, and I respected that. So here's my one question for that. How long did it take you to get acclimated to this free world, and are you acclimated yet?
for the most part, I am acclimated, man, cause even though the things that I indulged in there, right, I still took the time out to get 2 college degrees, man. So uh I'm not only did I have penitentiary smarts, but I was educated too. So I
Right.
did I did earn two prison degrees inside of prison before I came home, and I also when I came home, I am a sous chef by trade because I went to school for that too, and I earned that too, and I got that. So within the year that I was on the monitor, man, I accomplished a lot of things because I took the time out to once again, I knew education was the key. I figured that part out, you know, and even though I didn't even know how to work a laptop, but I was on one every day trying to figure out how to work it.
Absolutely. See, yeah, that's the
You know,
difference between some men. Some men will let that intimidate them. Some men run and tackle it, and that's the same way on the outside, inside. You know what? Here's something I wanted to say a lot, and I see, and we basically speak on that a lot. That there's a lot of friends, family, females that they expect a man to go to prison. He was a bum out here in the free world. They expect him to go to prison, come back, and just be this upstanding hell of a man, not realizing he's probably gonna just be a bum on the inside too, and come back one. You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be in that society in there, it's just a little cross section of life in the world. You're gonna have some people like Hollywood, way elevated, getting college degrees. Some guy did 25 years, didn't even learn how to play chess. Maybe you know what I'm saying? It's crazy how the game goes, man. So respect for that. Like literally, you didn't waste 25 years. You did 25 years growing, maturing, and getting educated. That's pretty deep, you know. So we're gonna close it pretty soon because I gotta get to my little daughter and everything. But I want you to give some people that are watching, the two people, advice real quick, however you want to do it, man. And then shout out to your channel again, everything, and make sure y'all go subscribe. But can you give, because a lot of people, you'll realize later, a lot of people that watch these shows are on bond, on parole, or probation. They're literally 1 foot in and 1 foot out. What would you give somebody the advice for that person that's getting ready to go? And then what would you give advice to somebody coming home? Because you did both. You know what I'm saying? Like the man is fixing to go right now, waiting. What advice? How do you advise him to go do his time?
well, for the man that's gonna go now, man, this is my advice to them, man, because uh, we all try and blame somebody else for our actions, right? The first thing that man should do that's gonna get ready to go to prison right now, man, is hold himself accountable for the things that he did in life, man. And when he do that, then that's when his transformation starts, man.
You think
And
you think once you realize that, are you able to let that anger go? Is that why you say that? I don't mean to
yeah,
interrupt, but literally,
yeah,
you're not gonna be in there angry at the system. No, you can just accept it
yeah.
and grow as a man.
Because it's too many times that we hear, and I'm speaking directly to men of color right now. It's too many times that we hear men of color say, uh, the white folks, you know, but in actuality, it's the man in the mirror, and the man in the mirror is thyself.
Yeah, that's deep.
Because it's millions of men in the world, and it's millions of men that have never been to prison. And why? Because they understand that if you understand your purpose in life, resources will come, for one.
Yeah, that's facts. Um, man, that's deep right there, man. I wasn't expecting you to say that, man. That's some real OG talk right there. That's why I had to think it through. What's he even talking about? Like literally, because when I was young, the very first time, yeah, I was angry, thinking, man, these stupid ass cops did this, man, and did that and everything. Uh, the last time that when I went to the feds, I literally was 35 years old. I got a gun case, and I knew I wasn't supposed to have that gun. You understand? I'm going out of town doing things I shouldn't, and I guess I took your advice without even knowing it. I couldn't blame nobody at that time. You know what I mean? Literally, my mama
Yeah,
told me, "Well, you better stop carrying that gun around. Yeah, it's going back to prison." And I'd be like, "Mom, it just didn't even want to hear it." So literally, I couldn't blame nobody. So that was deep. Y'all pay attention to what he said about taking self responsibility. That was one of the realest things I've ever heard right there. So coming home to a man that maybe don't even have 2 degrees. Can you speak to him real quick? I won't interrupt this time. I apologize about that. But to speak to the guy, and it could be the black man, the white man, I don't give a damn. Whoever you want to talk to, tell them what to expect and how to behave out here.
well, I mean, when I speak, man, I try to speak with uh uh a diverse mind, because I understand that in today's society, man, any man can be labeled from anybody, and especially the man that's coming home from prison. As you just stated, you are already a loser once you are set free. Accept that people are going to look at you as a loser. And that's when you'll start to win.
Already.
Not only do you need to write a contract with companies, you write a contract with yourself. And remember this, a man that doesn't have a plan is guaranteed to fail. The key to freedom is a plan. Surround yourself with people of value, man. People of value will instill everything in your life. Not saying that you're not going to struggle from time to time, because we all struggle. But if you put a plan in place and stick to the plan, I guarantee at some time and point, the breakthrough that you're looking for, you're going to get it, man. That's the only way you're going to stay outside the system, man.
And don't wait till you hit this free world to start planning, right? How long was you was on the inside planning your outside?
The whole time I was doing what I was doing, I was exercising my rights to think. I was exercising my rights to think, man. Because if you look at today's society, man, you always hear people say this one thing: they chasing the bag. And anything that you chase in life, you very rarely ever catch it.
Man, that's deep. You ain't lying. If it's running from you and you got to chase it, you might need to rethink it, huh, man?
Exactly.
Figure out a different way to get it. Yeah, that's deep, man. I want y'all to pay attention to what he said. Give him your channel name again. If you got an IG, TikTok, whatever the hell you got, man, make sure you subscribe to OG Hollywood.
You can always reach me on YouTube, man, at OG Hollywood Speaks, man. The real OG Hollywood Speaks. And all you have to do is pull up the Ferguson Chronicle, man, and you'll see so many videos that I've did, like Tim said, on guys before me, because like I said, it is the people's channel, and I represent the people, and I am just a vessel to the channel, because I know we as ex-cons need a voice, and I ordained myself to be the voice for the people, because I've earned that right to be the voice for the people. And also, you can reach me on Instagram. That's pretty much it, man. And on Facebook, like I said, on Facebook.
What's your IG name?
OG Hollywood.
OG Hollywood. Okay. Last question I'm gonna ask. We fixing to hit an hour and a half right here. Is, since you've been doing YouTube, well, actually, you just came out, started, edited up, looking nice, looking right. Like, your game was elevated from the beginning right now. Like, how are you feeling about YouTube? Are you having fun with it still? You enjoying it? You looking for keep going? Or are you looking for men to interview? Are you what do you got going on with your YouTube?
Well, like I always say, man, my channel is not just for people that's been incarcerated. It's for people that has everyday struggles. If you're struggling and you need to be heard, like Tim said earlier in the show, everybody need an ear. And on the Ferguson Chronicle, you can get that ear. You know, because I understand how important it is for somebody to listen. Because I needed somebody to listen to me when I was committing those 13 aggravated robberies. I was acting out, but wasn't nobody paying attention. So, like I say, man, you know, this, you know, like I say, it's the people's channel, man. You know, and I'm just a vessel to the channel, bro.
Well, honestly, man, you're doing a great job, man. It looks good. It's enjoyable to watch, man. You got interviews with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there's a lot more coming. You know what I mean? So I'm proud to be able to help you, bro. Hopefully you get some subscribers off this. I'm putting the links in the description, all kind of stuff. When I look for his channel, what I type in is Ferguson Chronicles, and you pop right up. So yeah, that'll be this thing that you can type in is Ferguson Chronicles, them 2 words, and I swear you're gonna see stuff come up with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Blue Hands, because I don't even know him, but that was one of my favorite that you did right there with him. Y'all, the legendary Blue Hands, he's got one with him, Percy, everybody. So y'all make sure y'all check his channel out, man. Show some love. And if you've seen it right here, drop a comment, tell him you've seen it on Texas Prison Stories. And just the deal, Hollywood, anytime you want to come back, if you want to talk about anything else or some up-to-date type stuff, like we was talking about the escape, politics, man, you're always welcome, man. I don't do a lot of them anymore, But I just literally had a good time right here, man. I enjoyed it. I think the people are gonna enjoy it. So you literally, and I mean this from everything. You got an open ticket, man. Anytime you want to come back or whatever you want to do. All right.
One thing is this, man. I want the people to know, man, that when you lay eyes on the Ferguson Chronicle, you'll realize, man, that it's nothing scripted and nothing that's ever performed.
No.
You'll get it straight from the horse's mouth.
I like it because you don't get on there and cut up and act silly. You're not childish. You're a grown ass man, and that's the type of content that I try to do. I don't do all that old back and forth silly stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're staying on focus, and good job, man. And I'm gonna close this out at a minute 30, hour 30. Appreciate everybody for watching. And OG Hollywood, man, thank you for giving us your time, brother. We sure appreciate this. I hope it helps, man.
I appreciate you, man. You have a blessed day.
You too. Text Prison Story family. We'll see you later, man. Don't go nowhere, Hollywood. I'm gonna chop it up with you when we're finished.
Yeah.